We dare say Biden derangement syndrome. I hate to say it, but it might actually be a bit of Biden derangement syndrome. I don't like that guy either, but you don't have to lie about stuff. You could very easily just like, you could just tell it how it is, right? Like it's not that hard. Biden is old. Real old. If you go back to look at videos of him back in 2016 compared to now, he's gotten even more old. Remarkably, dramatically, unabashedly, you can't even deny bro's old as heck. He's super old. Now, I've come to the defense of Biden in some instances where people say that he's like stupid and dumb. They call him like Dementia Joe, stuff along those lines. I think he has normal old man. He forgets some things and messes some things up. He also is well known to have a stutter, and that would probably get worse as he's gotten older. But I don't think he's just like completely like there's a massive hole in his brain that needs to be filled in with like, I don't know, like pudding or something, right? I don't believe it's like that. I don't believe he's experiencing a form of brain death right now. With that being said, things have not been well in the Biden camp. You've seen some of the videos, hopefully, and if you didn't, I ain't explaining it here. You have to go back and watch that yourself. Where we talked about the trouble that Biden's been going through when it comes to the border and Texas rising up against him. But one thing that we haven't talked about has been Biden's classified document case. Now, some of you all remember us talking about Donald Trump and his classified document case, how he specifically took thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of super classified, some of the most classified documents in the entire country, and just keep them at Mar-a-Lago because he thinks of them as souvenirs and he believes that he can keep them to do whatever he wants with forever, right? And he didn't give them back, and they had to literally go in and steal them back, all those types of things. With this being said, Joe Biden also took classified documents from back when he was the vice president and kept them illegally, and when he should have given them back. Now, he did decide to give them back when they asked for them back, and he did sit in for questioning. And there has been a case brewing against him for some time by Robert Hur, who is a special counsel prosecutor who's been on the case looking at what Biden has done wrong to see if he's done any actual criminal actions when it comes to the classified documents. And thankfully for Biden, they found out that it's not super criminal. Trump did something way worse. He gave them back when they asked, and that he doesn't recommend any charges for Biden. The bad thing is that the special counsel basically said that Joe Biden is too dementia ridden. They said Joe Biden is too stupid to be able to stand trial, even if we wanted to put him on trial for the crimes that he did. They said Biden cannot stand trial. He's too dumb. His memory is too bad. And I don't even know what to do with him. So we're just going to let him go because I don't think he's going to live for that much longer. Possibly even worse than saying that he should be charged with some crime. I'm going to be honest with you. It was devastating. Completely devastating. Special counsel's devastating description of Biden. This is from The Atlantic. Well, I just want to read a little bit of this. It's bad. Hers report makes the case that Biden's faculties are diminished. The prosecutorial team reviewed recorded interviews with a ghostwriter for Biden's book. Mr. Biden recorded conversations with Zwanitzer from 2017 are often painfully slow, with Mr. Biden struggling to remember events and straining at times to read and relay his own notebook entries. The report states it goes on to describe his interview with the special counsel this way, and I'm gonna tell you, this is bad. In his interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting the first day of the interview when his team ended. If it was 2013, when did I stop being vice president? Forgetting the second day of the interview, when his term began in 2009, I am still vice president. He did not remember even within several years when his son Beau died. And his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference of opinion with General Carl Eikenberry, when in fact Eikenberry was an ally whom Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. A response letter from Biden's attorneys, including the report, shows the president's team understands the danger of these claims. While the letter applauds the decision not to charge Biden, it fiercely disputes the report's characterization of his mental state. Now, you may be wondering, it states here in his interview with our office, Biden's memory is worse. He's referring to Donald Trump when it comes to, he's comparing Biden to Donald Trump here. When he was writing that the difference is, the reason why I don't want to charge Biden is because Trump, he took way more. He was more egregious with it. It put our national security in danger. He didn't want to give them back. We had to literally go and raid him. I believe he should be charged. With Biden, he didn't really do all that. But he doesn't remember much, and there's some real problems with this, and I don't believe it's even worth charging him, right? And so that's why it started like that. Really bad report. He forgot his son died. No, it says he forgot when his son died. He knows his son died, Bo, but he doesn't remember when his son died, actually. And so that's what they were talking about. And they said that there were massive problems with his memory, which is actually pretty scary when it comes to a president. Now, in response to this, I can talk about this a little bit more, but I think it'd be more interesting to do something a little bit different, which is to listen to Biden himself. After this special counsel description of his memory dropped, Biden was like, oh, hell nah, and decided to, out of nowhere, announce through the White House press that there was going to be an unscripted, unplanned, like no holds bar, unchained Dark Brandon address to the press at 7:30. Okay, there's no topics. He just said, I'm gonna come up and start talking. I'm gonna start yapping, because this made him really upset that they said that he forgot when his son died. Okay, and a bunch of other things about his memory. He wanted to get out ahead of it by coming up to talk about it. And I'm gonna tell you, many people are saying that this didn't end up too well for him. I'm saying that this sounds like something that he might not have wanted to do. But the accusations against him were they were bad. So obviously he'd want to do something about it. And so he decides to have a little talk about it. He did in fact show up late to his own hearing. I will say, I believe he was 10 or 15 minutes late, something along those lines. So he did show up late. Already a bad start, but he did show up.
Hey, buddy. Good evening. Let me say a few things before I take your questions. As you know, the special counsel released his findings today about their look into my handling of classified documents. I was pleased to see he reached a firm conclusion that no charges should be brought against me in this case. This was an exhaustive investigation going back more than 40 years, even into the 1970s when I was still a new United States Senator. The special counsel acknowledged I cooperated completely. I did not throw up any roadblocks. I sought no delays. In fact, I was so determined to give the special counsel what he needed, I went forward with a 5-hour in-person interview over 2 days on October the 8th and 9th of last year, even though Israel had just been attacked by Hamas on the 7th and I was very occupied. It was in the middle of handling an international crisis. I was especially pleased to see special counsel make clear the stark distinction and difference between this case and Mr. Trump's case. The special counsel wrote, and I quote, "Several material distinctions between Mr. Trump's case and Mr. Biden's are clear," continuing to quote, "Most notably, after given multiple chances to return classified documents to avoid prosecution, Mr. Trump allegedly did the opposite. According to the indictment, he not only refused to return the documents for many months, he also obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it. In contrast, he went on to say Mr. Biden turned in classified documents."
Did you call for a ceasefire? No. There are actually reports out that Kamala Harris is one of the only people in power in the White House who actually cares about Gazans and Palestinians. It was reported that people close to the president and who are privy to the conversations happening, that when talking about these issues, when talking about like stopping the violence in the Israel-Palestine situation, he doesn't even mention the Palestinians. He doesn't mention any Palestinian authorities there. He's only talks about like the Israelis when it comes to it, and he doesn't even. It was said by some people privy to the conversations that he doesn't even acknowledge the humanity of Gazans. But that was just what was said. Whether or not that's true, that could be somebody who feels really strongly about it. I don't know. But what I do know is that he probably doesn't really care that much about them.
To the National Archives and the Department of Justice, consented to the search of multiple locations, including his home, sat for a voluntary interview, and in other ways cooperated with the investigation, end of quote. I've seen the headlines since the report was released about my willful retention of documents. These assertions are not only misleading, they're just plain wrong. On page 215, if you had a chance, I know it's a thick document. On page 215, the report of the special counsel found the exact opposite. Here's what he wrote. There is, in fact, a shortage of evidence that I willfully retained classified materials related to Afghanistan. On page 12, the special counsel also wrote,
much yapping.
At the same time I was managing international crisis, their task was to make a decision. Let me tell you something.
But here we go.
In addition, I know there's some attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business. Let me tell you something. Some of you have commented, I wear since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of... Every Memorial Day we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family.
So people are calling out there, if you wonder what just happened, when his son died in 2015, he started wearing a rosary every single day that was given to him. Here, let me see. A rosary that was given to him by somebody. Let me see. I don't know all the details in this. Yeah, the rosary was given to him by someone, but he forgot. It seems like he forgot who gave him the rosary. He just stopped and he didn't continue with that one. Yeah, see, he struggled to forget. He struggled to remember the church that gave him the rosary on that day that he died. It seems, unfortunately.
People got from Our Lady of... Every Memorial Day we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family and the people who loved him. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away or if he passed away. Simple truth is I sat for a 5-hour interview over 2 days of events going back 40 years. At the same time I was managing international crisis, their task was to make a decision about whether to move forward with charges in this case. That's their decision to make. That's the counsel's decision to make. That's his job. And they decided not to move forward. For any extraneous commentary, they don't know what they're talking about. It has no place in this report. The bottom line is the matter is now closed. I'm going to continue what I've always focused on, my job of being President of the United States of America. No, thank you.
I'm surprised that he's not doing worse. Yeah, so Biden, he's not... People talk about Biden like every single time he speaks. He's like, oh, where am I? I'm hungry. And then he just like kind of walks around for a while. And then that's what's going on. He has like gaffes and goofs and slip ups. But outside of that, he's just fine, really. It's nothing too crazy. Now, there are some holes in his memory, and that is a really big problem, especially with being so old. The age is really hitting him bad. But yeah, I never thought he was like that crazy. He was like that crazy, like addled or something. He's no less mentally sharp than Trump. I'll say that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a sec.
Thank you, and I'll take some questions.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
He cooked him. I can't. The description is just—it's so condescending. It's kind of crazy. Listen, I don't want to charge him. Like he's a nice guy. He didn't know. I don't even know if he remembered. So I mean, like we'll just get him back and let him go. The cookage is insane.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak. That's
Your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President.
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory. Take a look at what I've done since I become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen?
It's kind of
Well,
true.
I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
I can't lie, he did kind of cook him back. The counter cookage, he's still there. He's not as sharp as he was. He really isn't. But he's in there. He's in there. Biden is still in there. He really is. In comparison, I wanted to show you like Biden talking from 2016, okay? 10 years ago.
Fun earlier this week with speaking to the UAW.
I did.
Talking about Corvettes, talking about going from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds.
That's right, man.
And that was the one reason you said you would not run for president.
Well,
Other than Corvettes, give me another good reason why you shouldn't run.
I can't.
Yeah?
There may be reasons I don't run, but there's no obvious reason for me why I think I should not run.
Can I have a timetable?
Probably realistically, a year this summer.
So yeah, his speech is so much different. He used to talk so much faster, all these types of things. And here's from here. Let's do this one.
Donald Trump has no notion what those people are going through. And if you take if you take a look, and that's not a criticism, it's an observation, because look, but for 77,000 votes, this would be a different race now. Come on.
It's such a clear difference. It's such a clear difference. And this is Biden now.
None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? You know, I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
He's really getting old.
Have concerns about your age. How are you going to assuage them? And do you fear that this report is only going to fuel further concerns about
Yeah, he's old. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like he's old. Yes, incompetent. No, he's just not incompetent. At the end, he has bad politics. I disagree with a lot of his politics, but when it comes to incompetent in the sense of like I don't like his political philosophy. Yeah, incompetent in the sense of like he actually doesn't have the mental faculties to be able to run for president and be the president. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I saw a lot of people talking about this the other night, and it was like really bad. They're talking about like bro like started like staring at the camera and drooling. I'm gonna be honest. Biden's had like old guy moments, but I don't think he's had many old guy moments as bad as when Mitch McConnell just did his like death stare. You know when he saw the demon that he sold his soul to in the crowd. Tapping his watch, being like, your time is coming, when he was supposed to be giving a speech. Yeah, he hasn't had like a McConnell moment where he just like froze and then just stood there like he's like about to die. That was so, yeah, it was kind of crazy. He hasn't had anything like that.
Only by some of you.
Mr. President.
Do you take
Mr. President.
responsibility for at least being careless with classified material?
I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing. It goes in and points out things that appeared in my garage, things that came out of my home, things that were moved not by me but my staff.
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment.
No, it is pretty true. It's really bad to at the end to be like, bro, you're old. But let's be honest, bro's old. He's a geezer. Okay, he's a geezer. He really is. Donald Trump is also old. He's super old. But Donald Trump is so stupid that he sounds like pretty okay. But if you like compare Donald Trump from 2016 to today, bro's gotten pretty old too. Age is hitting him. Age is hitting these guys pretty bad. He is in it.
That is not the judgment of the press.
They express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer to that question?
Because I'm the most qualified person in this country to be President of the United States and finish the job I started.
Do you believe that?
Not a bad answer.
Why are you confusing the names of world leaders?
Thank you, everyone.
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter.
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said in the
no,
report
he
that it
did not
did.
say that.
Okay.
He did not say that.
But Mr. President,
Let me answer your question.
Oh, he's mad.
Fact of the matter is, what I didn't want repeated, I didn't want him to know, and I didn't read it to him, was I had written a long memorandum to President Obama why we should not be in Afghanistan. And I was multiple pages. And so what I was referring to, I said classified. I should have said it should be private because it was a contact between the president and the vice president as to what was going on. That's what he was referring to. It was not classified information in that document. That was not classified.
There's a lot of yapping in this. It's all this Joe Scarborough watching. Honestly, that's probably what did the most damage to his memory, looking at Joe Scarborough all day. True.
Thank you all very, very much. The hostage negotiation. Look.
Oh, he's back. Oh, somebody asked a question. I almost never see this. You know he's wound up because I've actually never seen a president being asked a question by like the press corps while he's walking away for him to turn around. I've actually never seen it. Have you guys seen it before? I have never seen it before. I have never in my life seen this before. Usually they just like shuffle off and they just like get lost with all the other questions, especially if they're harder. He was genuinely mad. Oh no, he was fuming 100%. Especially when he said that he didn't remember when Bo died. I can imagine that if like asked on the spot like a bunch of questions that he wouldn't be able to recall everything super fast. I can imagine that. Yeah. I mean, he forgot the church that gave to him the rosary when his son died just now, right? He's about to forget something else.
I'm of the view, as you know, that the conduct of the response in the Gaza Strip has been over the top.
Over the top, too much, concerned, all these words, still not caring. You know, actually, one of the best arguments that I've heard about Biden not actually having that bad of a memory is that somebody said if Biden really has that much of a bad memory, then why does he never forget a payment to Israel? And I'm gonna be honest, that's one of the best arguments I got. If his memory is really that bad, then why can he never forget to pay Israel? Never. That has never slipped his mind. His memory can't be that bad. He's still in there. He just got priorities.
I think that
it's auto pay. You know, the really funny thing about that is that we did actually set up auto pay for Israel. Did you guys know that? I think back in 2009, we originally set up auto pay to Israel by giving them $2 billion a year. After that, a couple of years passed. I forget the exact dates. After that, it was increased again to like 3 billion and then to 5 billion, and then it was upgraded again. So we absolutely do have auto pay on for Israel, but he definitely wants more. We're in Israel's subscription. Yeah, Israel's subscription based. Israel becomes the first and only subscription based country in the entire world. Does Israel have free healthcare too? I believe so. We opted out of paper communications. That's true. It's one of those apps that bury the cancel button, so you have to go into your like PayPal or your bank and tell them to not to pay them anymore. We should cancel our subscription. Yeah, listen, I just got one of those apps to check all my subscriptions. This Israel subscription is a little too expensive for me.
But, as you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
Okay, so this is another thing somebody was talking about. Sisi, he's referring to Egypt's president, okay? Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, okay? He's not talking about the president of Mexico. He's talking about the president of Egypt. Completely different guy. He's talking about this guy, okay? Well, completely different guy, not Mexico. Mexico is nowhere near Gaza. And so people were also like, oh, look, he's like forgetting president names and everything. You know, the funniest thing about this is that this was at around like 8 p.m. The other night, literally less than an hour later, when Donald Trump was having a speech in Nevada, okay? He did this.
Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world, and he's the leader of He's the leader of Turkey. Fronts on both Russia. Yeah.
Leader of Turkey, Viktor Orban. leader of Turkey, Viktor Orban. It's so over. Viktor Orban is basically the dictator of Hungary. Not Turkey. That's Erdogan, who's the president of Turkey. Much different guy. So both of these guys they're dropping their spoon. They're dropping knives in the kitchen. Okay, they're attempting to cook and they're dropping it. Ah, yes, Turkey. Yes, Turkish dictator Viktor Orban. He rhymed. Damn it. Yeah, it's close enough.
I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side. I've been pushing really hard to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. There are a lot of innocent people who are starving, a lot of innocent people who are in trouble and dying, and it's got to stop. Number one.
Yeah, he's pushing to make sure that they get food, and he's making sure that they're absolutely gonna get bombed. 2 things that he wants: those aid trucks to get in. He's making sure that the aid trucks get into Gazans, and he's making sure that the bombs drop on them once they cross the gate. It's the definition of playing both sides, so you always win. It's perfect. It's perfect. How could it not work out, honestly?
I was also in a position that I'm the guy that made the case that we have to do much more to increase the amount of material going in, including fuel, including other items. I've been on the phone with the Qataris, I've been on the phone with the Egyptians, I've been on the phone with the Saudis to get as much aid as we possibly can into Gaza. There are innocent people, innocent women and children who are also in badly in need of help.
Men too. I hate the whole women and children thing. Like, men are I guess that are caught in conflicts deserve to die. Oh, the men obviously deserve to die. I mean, the women and children, they're fine though. Okay, then Mr. Biden, go die for Israel. Go on. You hop into one of those convoys moving into a refugee camp. Go ahead. I bet you'll have fun. Anyways, this is what happened. That was basically the whole speech. That's everything that was happening. I'm going to tell you personally, this was actually my first time watching the whole thing. I read I read mostly what happened inside of the speech, but I haven't looked at it personally myself, so that I was listening to it the first time as long as with you. Let me know what you personally think about Biden, how you think his memory is, and what's going on. I think it's not as bad as Trump, but Trump's is honestly not good. And Trump, when he went to go get his mental acuity checked, and he called himself a stable genius after he basically failed he somehow failed an IQ test back in the day. I don't really think that this guy I think he shouldn't be president for many reasons, this Biden guy, but him just being too stupid kind of isn't one. Not in my personal opinion, at least. They asked me a lot of hard questions. How, Sway? They did actually, as well. They asked him some hard questions. Some of those questions actually weren't that hard. Like when did your son die? I can imagine him having some trouble with that recollection, just out of the blue. That's just kind of how it goes when you get old as dirt like he is. So that's how it is. Is Joe Biden's campaign over? I'm telling you. I heard the way people were talking about it. I heard that it was way worse than what I just saw. I don't think it's good, but I mean, honestly, like what he had 2 gaffes. Don't you think? Is it just me? I think he had like literally 2 gaffes the entire thing, where he mixed up the name of the church that gave him the rosary that he went to when his son died, and he said the president of Egypt was actually the president of Mexico for a second, like once on accident. Like, I mean, come on. I don't think it's that crazy. Nothing more crazy. We dare say Biden derangement syndrome. I hate to say it, but it might actually be a bit of Biden derangement syndrome. I don't like that guy either, but you don't have to lie about stuff. You could very easily just you could just tell it how it is, right? Like it's not that hard, really. It's really not that hard. You could just talk about the stuff that he actually did wrong. That's just me though. That's just my opinion. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.